Facebook streaming, those who are connected via Facebook, coming to you via YouTube streaming live if you are on YouTube channel, and also via Skype closed group. Each one of you is welcome to Monday morning live broadcast. Desire to exhibit. Everyone has a desire to exhibit. The desire to exhibit and show is the desire of an ignorant mind. Why do I have to show anything if there is a flower never shows its beauty and fragrance? It simply continues to live in its nature. The nature of the flower is to exhibit, not to exhibit, to manifest its beauty and fragrance. It never goes into competition. It is sleeping, and all of a sudden when somebody visits the garden, it will spread, show its beauty, or show its beauty to someone specific, for the gardener, not for the one who is coming to pluck the flower. It is natural and spontaneous for the flower to spread its beauty and fragrance. But ignorant mind always have a desire to exhibit and show. Why do you want to exhibit? Why do you want people to know you? What is the cause of it? And why do you make it so significant in your life that people should think you are somebody very significant? Very significant, important, and extraordinary. Why is it so? It is so because you do not have self. You have not discovered your center. Those who are centered, those who have discovered their center, those who rejoice in their center, never bother. A flower is centered in its innerness. Innerness is its joy of blossoming. The greatest joy for the flower is that it has blossomed. And blossoming is most important. Once the flower blossoms, its beauty and fragrance will spread, will fill the aura without any problem. When the candle is lit, the moth, the rain flies will gather around it. They do not have to send an invitation. Does a flower send an invitation? No, flower never sends an invitation. Seeing the flower, someone wants to make a mention of the blossoming of the flower or the cherry blossom to his or her spouse and friends. Come and visit the season. The cherry has blossomed. Its beauty and fragrance fills the aura. Come and see. But cherry on its own, the flowers on its own, never send an invitation to anyone, because their intrinsic quality is to blossom. And that is it. The flower has blossomed. It has offered its prayer to the existence that it is because of your totality. It is because of the rain drops. It is because of the winds. It is because of the sunlight. And all that nature has provided naturally and spontaneously, I have blossomed. The existence has given me an opportunity, had brought me in the company of someone who is an awakened one, whose very presence, if I have any problem, something is not clear, I can just pick up a phone and call him. That very certitude is the greatest blessing to someone. And when existence has given something so much, it is incumbent on me to allow the blossoming to happen, to that awakened one to mold my being so that it can be offered at the altar of the divine. Thy company, in thy company, let the flower blossom. In the care and nurturing of the gardener, with the proper proportion of the ingredients that are necessary for the blossoming of the plant, one day the flower blossoms and spreads its beauty and fragrance, and in fact it says, it expresses its gratitude towards the entire existence. It expresses its gratitude towards the entire existence. In thy company the flower has blossomed. All this life, this awareness, this understanding, I offer at thy altar. There is a particular flower that blossoms in the night. It is a small flower of 4 white petals and orange stem. It is known as Parijat, a flower that it is said was brought by Krishna for his wife Satyabhama, who wanted it, and it was brought from the garden in the heavens. It blossoms in the night. By the morning, the whole entire flower is full of the tree is full of the flowers, and the flowers fall on the ground. Normally, no one picks up the flower to be offered at the altar by picking up from the ground. This is also known as Harsingar, the Hindi name. It blooms in plentiful, but this is the only flower that is picked up from the ground and it is offered at the altar. This is the destiny, this is the life, this is the story of this flower. Let your life be a flower to be offered at the altar. And that can happen only when the flower is blossomed. Let myriad flower blossoms on the tree of the consciousness that you are, so that when the season of spring comes, the flowers can be offered. It is so. Why does man wants to feel very significant, important and extraordinary? It is so because you have not discovered the self. And unless the self is discovered, you reach to the center, the blossoming does not happen. You have only an ego, a substitute for the self. Ego is not substantial, it is false. It gives you the impression that something is there. Self is substantial, but that is not known to you yet. Indeed, a man cannot live without the feeling of I. It is difficult to live without the feeling of I and I-ness. Then from what center will you function. You need an eye. Even if it is false, it is helpful to survive. Without an eye, you simply disintegrate. Who will be the integrator? The agent within you. Who will integrate you? From what center will you function? Unless you know the self, you will live with an ego. If you do not know the entire geography of your house, you do not know which is the most convenient room to have a private conversation, the most quiet place in the house where you can meditate and offer your salad. You have to know the entire geography of your innerness. Unless you know the self, you will have to live with an ego. Ego means a substituted self, a false one. You do not know the self, so you create a self of your own. It is a mental creation, and for anything that is false, you have to make supports. Exhibition gives you the support. When you exhibit your ego, it supports you. If somebody says you are a beautiful person, you start feeling that you are really beautiful, but you have no experience of inner beauty yourself. You have no experience. Only when someone says you are looking beautiful and you expect the other to tell you you are really beautiful, you start feeling when someone tells you that you are beautiful. If nobody says so, it will be difficult for you to feel that you are beautiful, and you start suspecting, am I really beautiful, but nobody has said anything about my beauty and how did I dress this moment? Even if you even say to an ugly person continuously you are beautiful, the ugliness will drop from his mind, and instead something will blossom within. From within, he will start feeling that he or she she or he is beautiful, because the mind depends on others' opinions. It accumulates opinions and depends on them and lives in the opinions of the others. Ego depends on what people say about you. Ego feels good if people feel good about you. And if they feel bad, the ego feels bad. If others do not give you any attention, the supports are withdrawn. The prop that was supporting the structure falls down. If others do not give you any attention, they are not feeding your ego. That is why so much attention is asked for continuously. So much attention. Even a small child seeks attention. He may go on playing silently, but a guest comes and the mother has asked the child that when the guest comes in, he has to be silent. When the guest comes in, the child has to do something because he wants attention. He wants attention. I recall many years ago, during the spiritual function, because the family was living in another town which was about 2 hours from the town where the shrine was. shrine is. So we hire a truck to carry all the necessary ingredients from the place of residence down to the other town where the shrine is, where the function is to take place. So I will go with the truck, and then my younger cousin will accompany me, and my grandmother will come via car or some other method. So luggage, all the ingredients, the food grains and whatsoever is necessary for that function will be sent by the truck. So I and he was sitting in the front by the driver's side. The seat was a little old. So the driver mashed the brakes. My cousin's head hit the dashboard. He looked at me, got a little ready to cry. But I thought that if I look at him, it will be difficult to control him. So he looked towards me and I pretended as if I had not seen him. The driver also paid no attention. There was no attention paid to him. He just sobbed and remained quiet. Remained quiet and continued to talk, and then we stopped and had something, snacks on the way. Journey continued, we reached. He was playing with the boys, and almost 2 hours after we had reached, my grandmother arrived. As soon as he saw the grandmother, he started crying loudly, holding his head, that has the part of the forehead that had bounced the dashboard, and started crying that it got hurt and it is hurting plenty. So I told him that it happened almost 3 hours ago. You was playing and now you are saying that it is hurting. Yes, it was hurting and is still hurting. I looked at you, but you paid no attention to me. The driver paid no attention to me. So what was the point in crying? Because no one was there to take care of me, so I didn't want to cry. I wanted to cry because of the pain, but now my grandmother is here. I can cry. And she said, "Oh, babe, don't cry. I will touch it, I'll give it a kiss, and everything will be okay." He said, "All right. Your pain is okay?" "Yes, Grandma, it's okay now." This is the functioning of the ego. Even a child needs attention. The mother says, when guest comes, do not make noise, remain quiet. Child stops playing and comes in front of the guest and does something that draws the attention of the guest. The child has to do something because he also wants the attention, and he wants more and more attention because he is accumulating an ego, just growing. He needs more food. When a child is on the growth, it needs more food. So ego is on the growth. It needs more care, more nourishment, more food. To keep silence is almost impossible. He has to do something. Even if he has to harm himself, he will fall. Harm can be tolerated, but attention must be paid to him. So, oh, the child is fall down. Did you hurt anybody? No, that's okay. I am accustomed to things like these. Everyone must pay attention. He must become the center of attraction, center of attention. From childhood to the ultimate day of your death, you go on asking for attention. When a person is dying, the only idea that is in his mind almost always is what people will say when I am dead. What will be the eulogy? What would be the message that will be given? What will be published in the newspapers? Is any newspaper going to write an editorial about me? These are the thoughts from the very beginning to the last. We look at what others see. It must be a deep need. Attention is the food for ego. Only a person who has attained to self, the need for attention vanishes. When you have center, you need not ask the attention of others. You live in the image of others, but the awakened one lives in the image, in his own image. Then you can live alone. Even in the crowd, you will be alone. You will move with the crowd, move in the crowd, but all alone. You are walking on the street, but you are in your own inner world, in a state of blissfulness. Right now, you cannot be alone. Right now, if you go to the Himalayan mountains or move to a dense forest, sitting under a tree, you will wait for someone to pass by, at least somebody who can carry the message to the world that you have become a great hermit. That you have become a great hermit. You will wait and open your eyes many times to see, has anybody come yet or not? Because you have heard the stories when somebody renounces the world, the whole world comes to his feet. And up to now, nobody has reached. You have been sitting for so long. No reporter, no newspaper man, no cameraman, nobody has come. You cannot go to the Himalayan mountains. The need for attention drops. The moment you are alone, the moment you are in the Himalayan mountains, wherever you are, you need attention. Remember, attention is the food of the ego. The moment that food, the attention, the desire for attention vanishes, you are moving towards a different realm. Your journey you have moved from circumference to the center of your being. So move to the center. Understand the need for attention, and in that understanding, one day it will vanish. Only this much for this morning. Until then, so long then to you. Take care.